This is David Lapp from the Asylum, and you're listening to the Break It Down show. We're going to get into the ins and outs of my life, the bodies I buried, the people life screwed over.
All right. Well, that sounds like a good show.
Yeah, that's my kind of party.
And now, the Break It Down show with John and Pete.
We walked in here, and we walked past maybe a dozen sharks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all kinds of babies.
Piranhas.
That are monsters popping out of things. And you have won the award between us for the most interesting office.
Well, thank you for that, acknowledgement.
And you keep a lawyer in a box in your
I do.
office. How is
I
that?
do. They should always be in a box.
Okay.
But you caught us at a really transitional time because we're moving offices. So we actually collapsed our studio, which was across the street.
Yeah.
It is now here in this office. It's mostly corporate rooms, and so that's why you can't walk down the hallways. That's why there's 20 sharks, around the place. It's normally, I want to say it's normally not this messy. Of course, it probably is, but it's you could actually walk around the hallways normally, and
Different kind of mess.
it's a different kind of mess. So this has been a little bit difficult for a lot of people because, we have 40 plus employees trying to squeeze into the space that now is being occupied by a lot of crap.
Wow. How many movies do you make a year?
We do about 22 to 24,
Okay.
not including the TV series.
That's a lot of movies.
It is. I'm only 15 years old. I look a little bit older. It ages you.
When you plan on collapsing a building and bringing it into here,
Yeah.
I know, like for my military thing, that takes 90 days to plan out in advance. Like all these things have to be in order. Or do you
This is
guys
the
just-
asylum, so it's
Yeah.
like, what time is it? All right. By 2 o'clock, we need to be,
Everybody
out of
go to the
that place.
Ralph's, steal a shopping cart,
Also,
borrow a
pretty
shopping
much.
cart.
Military platoon time and
Yeah.
filmmaking time are two different scales of time.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's the asylum time, which is totally just
Which is 24 freaking movies a year.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and I mean, we deal with a lot of filmmakers, a lot of big filmmakers and whatnot. And it's not like we pay well, but they basically say it's because you actually make movies as opposed to going to the studio system, which they have shows in development for years and years and
Right.
years.
Yeah, and a shitload of waiting around for something that may never, ever, ever happen.
Right. It usually doesn't.
You,
And,
on the other hand, are making 24 movies a year.
yes, we're making 24 movies a year. Not all of them are watchable, but we're making 24 movies a year.
Every time I watch one of your guys' movies, I laugh like crazy. I love them. I am so entertained.
Yeah, and I appreciate how you poke fun at yourself, but if you are Ian Ziering and you're flying a fighter jet, and your fighter jet is forced into the lake,
Yeah.
of course you're going to emerge from the lake with your fucking shirt off.
Okay, so this is why I'm the worst producer in the world, and there's believe me, probably a long list of reasons why I'm a horrible producer. But the ones I can identify is that's one scene where I said we have to get rid of it, and I said I don't understand why they're coming out naked, from the lake. My partner was going to have a conniption. It was going to be in there no matter what I said because it had to be because it's just a sexy ass moment. But the filmmakers justified it and said, look, when you're in a fighter jet, okay, you have to strip down in order to get into a jumpsuit.
Yes.
And we just don't see that scene. So when they emerge, their suits, they were taking off their suits in order to get to their clothes. And that's why they're in their underwear. It makes perfect, and that's why I went, all right, fine. I'll let you have that magic moment of bizarre sexiness.
But you almost missed the glory of that moment in the technicality of, but don't we have to show that? I mean, fucking, you know what? Sometimes continuity gets in the way of deliciousness.
Oh, we don't worry about continuity. I'm notorious for never hiring a script supervisor.
Okay.
I think it's a waste of, we did early on in the Asylum life cycle, and we discovered very quickly that the grip or the PA would be like, hey, I think they were wearing a red coat. And the script supervisor would be looking at their notes 5 minutes later, go, oh, yeah, and this scene is a red coat. And we had the best A-level, studio level, script supervisors. So I'm like, well, continuity-wise, it doesn't make any sense. And then on the script note side, on the editorial side, not one of our editors ever used the script notes because we shot everything. And we're shooting in such a limited time, you're using everything. You don't have 30 takes for each shot. You have 3. Right. So you're
making 24 movies a year. You don't have time for script supervision.
Yeah, come on.
Everybody's going to catch something. And let's face it, fans of The Asylum and the pictures that you guys put out, we love the speed, the camp, and to some degree, we watch it for those things.
Yeah.
I say there's probably a good chunk of people that do watch that, and it's good college movie stuff where
Sure.
you get drunk and watch what we're doing. But the underlining push is that we love making movies, we love to be entertained, and we're making films that we want to watch.
Right.
We don't necessarily set out to say it's going to be a bad film or not continuity or have these logic issues or whatever. We go out let's make the best thing we could do in 2 days and $25. And things do kind of get set aside, but for the most part, we think they're all pretty entertaining, and that runs the gamut of all genres. And we do a whole bunch of genres that you probably aren't aware of.
Well, yeah, you're making 24 movies a year. I mean,
Right? They're not all for sci-fi.
Right. The other thing too is a movie like I'm thinking about Creepshow, and in every little vignette they had the same little statue soap dish kind of thing, and continuity kind of plays to that. Where I know if I see something that's continuity wise, if I catch it, I'm like, oh wait, what was that? And then I back it up. I'm going to watch it twice. I might watch it 3 times just to catch things that are.
And
there.
we'll bill you every time that you
Yes.
watch it. You don't realize that, but
Yes,
every
every
time
time.
you rewind. Yeah.
This is a pragmatic filmmaker in our midst here. He's not only talking about the filmmaking process, but how every time there's an opportunity to capitalize.
We have 40 employees, for God's sakes. What do we need to? We have a lot of mouths to feed. We have
Babies gotta
families. Babies got to eat.
You're almost making a movie per employee.
We are, and they actually, most of the employees that work here have that on the resume where they've either written or directed or did something
Right.
beyond what they were hired to do.
For our listeners who aren't familiar with what it means to have that many movies on your schedule, Paramount will make, what do you think, 12?
6.
6.
Yeah. And
movies
probably
this
they'll all
year.
be, Marvel, DC, action hero films.
Yeah, 3 of them will have superheroes. 2 of them will have Tom Cruise.
Right.
And I mean, it's just the reality is that is an insane number of movies. And if we demand, I'm speaking for all of the viewers, if we demand that you give us more, you're answering the call instead of being handcuffed by cotton picking continuity and
by money
script supervisors.
And script supervisors. The man's holding us down, man. We're not like that.
That's right. Nope.
I mean,
not beholden to the man. But okay, script supervisor, that's a choice. Instead, you could buy 3 more sharks, and what you're doing is buying 3 more sharks instead of
everything's on the screen.
That's right.
We don't pay a lot, but we do pay, and for people, but most of it is on the screen. When you have no money, you have to kind of do that. So we're paying for the 3 more sharks.
Did you set out to do this?
To destroy the world?
Yeah. I mean, when you built this thing when you started the floor of the building, so to speak.
Well, the Asylum will be celebrating 20 years next year.
Wow.
I think we thought we'd do Sharknado 3 weeks earlier than we did, so we're pretty good. No,
You're ahead of schedule.
We're ahead of schedule. We just kind of kept tumbling into different opportunities. It started off with my partner and I, we worked out of his apartment for 4 years. We just took whatever we could do. I won't get into the details. It's very messy, and I'm not proud. And, it just kind of rolled. I mean, the underlying goal was to always make movies. And I would have been a mess as an individual. I still am. To go out and make movies on my own. I would have, I have friends my age that are freelancing that go to job, and that would have been probably my life. Instead, I partnered with a guy who's a marketing genius and, really made sure that whatever we made had a home first. And so he wouldn't necessarily pre-sell with a contract, but he, reached out to USA Network and said, look, I understand that you pick up movies with no stars. So what are the genres and how much? And our first film, it was, we make, we'll pick up a no-star, this is 20 plus years ago, movie for $30,000 with these genres, sexy comedy, rock and roll theme, beach blanket thing. And so we made Rock and Roll Fantasy, our first film. We made it for less than $30,000.
Yes.
Sold it to them for $35,000. Ultimately sold it to 20th Century Fox International, which made a lot of money. You could make money back in those days. And then every single film that we've done since then has always been knowing where the end user is going to be. So out of the 200 plus movies we've ever made, we've never lost a dime. But it's an impressive thing to say. But at the same time, it's not really difficult to say or understand because, we're not making it for any more than we could sell it for.
It seems simple, but
So, but those opportunities have stopped us from making huge shows. But have allowed us to really be the masters of our own domain. You know, and doing what we're doing. I never thought I'd be in the genre space. I never thought I'd be doing low budget stuff. But here I am, and having the time of my life, exceeding a career, having a career in something that I've always loved to do, and feeling very, very fortunate in doing it. And if the Dog and Pony Show stops tomorrow, but the ride was fantastic.
What an amazing 19-year ride if it stops tomorrow. But we know it's not going to stop tomorrow, because what you've done is you've found audiences who've said, this is what we want.
Yeah, but they don't pay anything. Those bastards are stealing from the internet. I got your numbers. So, look, the market has definitely changed in the last couple of years. Films that, we can guarantee a profit and whatnot in the 6 figures are now 4 figures. I mean, that's how dramatically it's changed. And so our budgets have gone much lower than they were a couple of years ago. We have to it's the ebb and flow, the tides there. And so hopefully it'll all balance out. And we're feeling it as much as the big studios are feeling it. We actually felt it a lot later than the big studios. They kind of felt a little bit earlier. And our competition has felt it in a way that a lot of them have gone out of business because it is so difficult. I mean, the one thing that we've done that our competition hasn't really done, for good or for bad, and it wasn't because we're smart, it was because we want to survive, is that we're not only producers, but we're distributors. So we're a mini studio.
Right.
And our company's built up in that way. We are making films for a buyer that we've already sold to. We don't have to go through a middleman and lose that commission.
Yeah.
And
hope they sell it.
And hope they sell it, because we're going to, if it fails, it's because we failed.
Yeah.
Right.
But you haven't failed yet.
I'm not going to tell you how we failed, but yes.
But you also haven't made Ben-Hur and had this.
Well, we did make Ben-Hur. Literally, we've made Ben-Hur. I mean, I can see the video right there.
Okay, so I'm going to rephrase my question. You made Ben-Hur, but you didn't lose $100 million doing it.
We did not lose because we had a buyer at the end of the day that was going to buy it for a certain amount of money. We shot that in Wales.
Yeah.
See, Ben-Hur.
There it is. He's got it in his hand.
We do a bunch of mockbuster stuff.
I guess I shouldn't start any question with you guys. You guys haven't made and then say a movie name because you're making 100 movies in 4 years.
We probably haven't made dramas.
Okay.
I mean, you can look at our Lifetime movies and go, there's some drama to it, but for the most part, they're thrillers and stuff. We haven't done porn, which is just
ish.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely. I mean, we've done sexy comedies that really skate the line,
and we love them. Yes. Let's just say that.
But they don't. The new market, the new version of where we are, they don't sell very well, right. So we don't make them anymore at this point. Then again, there's an ebb and flow of genres all the time, and so that might come back again.
It may get hot. That movie that I just picked up the DVD for was called In the Name of Ben-Hur.
Yes.
And it had nobody you'd know in it.
Well, neither did The Big Show, and they spent $100 million. Oh, snap, I went there.
And lost 93 of it.
Yes.
In the Name of Ben-Hur is, it allows you to understand that this is you said you make mockbusters.
Right.
And that's a term that, I don't know who coined that term, but it's glorious.
It's genius, yeah.
And
New York Post did.
New York Post.
Yes.
Well, you have In the Name of Ben-Hur, which allows you to know that the movie's going to knock Ben-Hur. But In the Name of Ben-Hur almost reminds me of, what in the Sam Hill? And that's the camp that we love about what comes out of the Asylum.
I love it.
Yeah.
We're not the first. The studios do it. They're a little bit more nice about it. They call it drafting, and it has a little bit more of an arrogance to it, I guess, as opposed to mockbusting, stealing, copying. And they don't get in trouble. We get in trouble a little bit. We get our buyers are sometimes a little skittish about titling it. So I'd say in our 24 titles, maybe 8 will be mockbusters, and the rest will not.
I see.
And you guys are going to get in trouble no matter what you do.
Always.
Because of what you do. I mean, you guys are...
Yeah.
That's really what you are for a living. You're a troublemaker.
We are. We'd be... luckily we have a really good
what
lawyer.
I said was you are.
Me.
You've just found 39 people to go on the ride with you. And they'll go like, we'll follow that lead.
Co-conspirators.
I'm adorable and sweet.
Okay.
So
clearly.
Right. And the lawyer nods. Okay, good. So
he has to.
He's paid to nod.
Yeah.
What are we going to see now that you're saying that budgets are declining and genres shift? And What are you looking at in the next couple of years? How far down the line do you look at your slate? Are you looking at next year? Are you looking at 3 years from now?
We have 3 partners to the company. 2 of the founding partners, that's myself and another David. I handle all physical production. I will answer your question. My other partner handles more big picture. I always call him the Steve Jobs of the company. I mean, he handles more of the long term and what we're doing next. And
as the guy we passed in the hallway with the turtleneck. Okay.
I know the corpse that was in the box. So, I mean, he's going to New York on Sunday. He'll be there for a week. He's talking to every network and everything. He goes to every market. He's out there in the world, just trying to pull the Asylum into areas that we don't do, or to strengthen the things that we do. But
that's what we're dealing with here.
Yes. I have 3 kids. They're all 45 years old.
As if they needed encouragement.
So, as far as what is the longer game plan?
Yes.
I don't necessarily know on a day-to-day because I'm producing 24 movies and a TV series every year. Yeah. So, I kind of get these things on my desk. Oh, by the way, we're doing, like, this year we started doing animated features. Uh-huh. My job is to make the animation feature department. So,
wow.
So we're on our 2nd film already. We just delivered a couple days ago. We're going to do another film starting next month. And it's insane. So whether or not that's going to be a place we're going to go to, in 5 years, it's a pain in the ass. I don't know if we'll be able to, but
really,
it's everyone. The cheapest quote that we got going out there doing animated films was about $1.5 million in 18 months, and we're like, we're the Asylum. We're not going to do that, and we know how much Walmart's paying. So
not only that, but 18 months, man, you make 72 pictures in that amount of time.
Right. So we had to kind of really make it with an Asylum model of doing it, and so we're. The first one took us 6 months and far less money, and the second one took us 3 months to do a feature length.
Way to work it back.
If you like the show,
and you know you do,
send us some pictures of your movies.
Don't do that. Support the show.
There are 3 ways you can support us.
Number 1, go to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And leave a 5-star rating and review.
It helps with the show metrics, and it helps us get better placement. Number 2,
visit our website,
www.breakitdownshow.com.
We've got an Amazon and an eBay link.
Same Amazon, same eBay, you know and love, but they give us a little kickback when you get to their site from ours. And number 3, leave comments about the shows that you like. We want to know what you think, how you feel.
Tell us how to make the show better. We greatly appreciate it.
Now back to the show.
We like boobies.
Going into the next one, we're going to probably try and add a little more time. We're just kind of figuring out. So whether it works or it doesn't, we don't know. So it could take us in those places. I know that Z Nation, September 16th was the premiere of our 3rd season of Z Nation, and the first 2 seasons were the top-rated scripted show for Sci-Fi. Wow. Hoping that it's going to happen again, at Sci-Fi, and we hit magic. They're changing our time slot, so who knows how that's going to go. When they did that with Haven, Haven died that
Screwed
year.
it up, yeah.
So, but we'll see. We love everyone at Sci-Fi. This is nothing. It's not a personal thing. I just want to make sure that Z Nation grows. We're getting a huge fan base. Right. But the series itself, in concept and in execution, is probably a place that we want to be in the next couple of years. I mean, I could see us bringing back how many movies we do to maybe a nice 10 or 12
to concentrate on the series,
to do more series, because there's the end user wants to binge watch 12 shows. They don't want to watch an hour and a half of something anymore, and our buyers are very aware of that, and so that's why the buyers aren't buying feature length movies. They want to buy 10 episodes, 12 episodes, multiple season shows.
And that does seem to be where the money in the market is going, because Netflix has to produce content they're forced to now if they want to maintain their model.
Right.
And then anybody who's trying to disrupt their model is doing the same thing. So Amazon, Hulu, whatever it is.
It's true. It's true. And it's but who knows if that could maintain itself, because a couple years ago you had 190 TV shows in the space. Now you have almost 600.
Right.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of content.
It's a lot of content, and it became very pronounced for me, because as a member of the Television Academy, you get screeners, and
you got to watch all that shit.
Oh my God,
that's a lot.
I don't know what to do with it. I'm a new member this year, and I literally have a garage full of DVDs. And I've asked them, can we get just an internet card? I don't need the DVD. Yeah. No one has a DVD player anymore, including me.
If you sent it to me, I wouldn't be able to watch it. I'd have nothing to watch it on.
And I'm like, just give us. And so the ones that I actually ended up watching were all the ones that gave us an internet card, going,
Right.
okay, here are the shows that we're promoting and doing. And it's just now you're not allowed to throw away the DVDs,
Of course.
and you can't keep them. You can't do. I was like, what do you? So
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with them. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to hand them out. You know, it's like
Right.
who cares that I'm giving you Top Chef seasons, but whatever. I'm not going to hand them out.
Yes.
but it's a lot. It's hundreds.
You
It's
almost
hundreds
have to hire
and
your
hundreds.
own watcher and processor of those things. Like, tell me if I liked it.
I know, but I don't. Look, I read probably a script a night. I watch dailies. I watch this, and I take my job very seriously.
Sure.
And at least now, I take being a member of the Academy very seriously, and I know how much effort it takes to put one of these shows together.
Yeah.
So if I don't watch it, it pains me,
Right.
Because a lot of people, not only just jobs affected by if they win an award or don't win an award, but they put a lot of work into this
Yeah.
stuff. And there's so much good television on right now. It's the stuff I do watch are mostly TV and not film anymore. I used to go to movies 3 times a day, and I love that medium. But the television is phenomenal.
You just described a day in the life of David Latt that included about 61 hours.
Yeah.
No, it's really good that I'm very happy with my life because I'm a workaholic, and probably I'm too old to be been diagnosed with ADHD, but I probably had it. But
You probably have it now.
I
Please
probably
continue.
have it now. But my day in the life is I wake up around 7:00, take the kids to school.
Okay.
Some of the kids, the other guy, I don't know what the other kids do, but some of the kids to school. Go to work. I'll be at work by 9:30. Work until 5:30. Go back home. Play with the kids. Have dinner. Be a family guy. Kids go down around 9:30, and then I work until about 2 in the morning. And at home, reading the scripts and doing the dailies and doing everything else. So, I've carved out a very comfortable.
That sounds like a great life.
It's a great life. It's great because I know a lot of friends that are at a certain level and they travel all the time.
Yeah.
My partner travels all the time, and he has a family, and that's tough. I could travel. We're shooting 2 films in Thailand now. We're shooting our series in Washington. We have a couple films coming up that are going to be in various different states. I tend not to. I just have too much work here to do, and I don't like being away from the family, quite frankly. So
That's terrific.
it works out.
Yeah, that's
Works out.
great, man. I'm inspired more by that story than I am by the building of this, because you've carved out a career that a lot of people would be envious of, even if I'm not sure if you started out with the intention of making Citizen Kane, as many people do, but instead what you've done is you've made a zillion movies that we love for as many different reasons. And you get to be with your kids.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's, I last film I directed was in 2009, and it was in Iowa, and I was gone for 6 weeks, and at the end of it, I'm like, and my daughter was very young at the time, and my son was only 4, so
Right.
and I came back and said, I'm never doing that again. I can't handle it. Just being away. I love directing was my passion, and making films my passion, but being
Until
away
you
from
got
the
a
family
new passion for raising your kids.
Just being with the family is so much, for me, a very rewarding thing. So
Right.
I said, look, when the kids get older, then I'll start. I'll get back into it. But for now, I could make my life the way I want to make it. And do what I'm going to do. And then things come up like. This week I went to a screening, and I never go out. So, but this week on Monday I went to a screening. Tonight I'm going to a screening of one of my films, and tomorrow is the Z Nation premiere. So I'm going to a screening on that. So, but normally I don't. I'm home.
And by not directing, it's not as if you're not doing anything. You're doing work that still needs to be done. You just are doing your work from home where the kids are and that kind of thing.
It was a big revelation to go, because I went into this directing, and then realizing as I step back and go, I'm really a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I enjoy producing so much, and I am in such a low budget kind of world and environment that I've done every position on a set. So I've always line produced. I've always been on a set, even when I wasn't directing, and producing things. And when things didn't happen, I stepped in and did them. And to this day, even though my job is very far removed, I'll step into things. I'm in a meeting. Thanks.
That's staying in, by the way.
And he's an actor.
There you go. No, I'm not in front of the camera. But everything but that. But like Sharknado, I did close to 500 visual effects on that.
Wow.
So, I mean, they're all stupid.
Did you do the shark on the roller coaster?
No, those are the complicated ones I don't, I don't touch.
That was awesome.
We have
Yeah.
a team of guys
Yeah.
that do that stuff. No, I do.
Well,
like,
just thank that person for me because that cracked me up.
well, we
for
can go
like
over
10
there
minutes.
afterwards. We can talk to them. But
Great.
but where there are things to fill out, I'll do it, and get into that. But to kind of make that crossover and go, okay, I'm a filmmaker, not a director. That's it made my life a lot easier. I didn't the pressure of like, what am I directing next? What am I directing next? Became very, I didn't have to think about that anymore.
Wow.
That's a common theme. We
Yeah.
keep finding this theme with the other people we've talked to this week. We had a writer who started as an actor and said, no, wait, I'm going to be a writer. Everybody said, no, you can't be a writer. That's a bad way to go. And she was going to write spec scripts wrote spec scripts for Friends and for Mad About You.
Yeah.
And all the people that loved her are like, it's good. but, and there was always but. And so then she figured out finally that she needed to write hour-long dramas. And that was her spot. And that's where she went straight up like a rocket and did really well. We talked to a music producer who has a certain piece of the music world that he does well. But he doesn't get to be the guy behind the microphone. He doesn't get, he's got to do his thing that he does brilliantly.
And if somebody's lucky, they find it.
Right.
Yeah, I think you have to be lucky and seize opportunities. I mean, our motto is we're not going to say no to anything. I mean, and it really afforded us to do a lot of crazy stuff and be out there. And everyone that kind of works here, including the crews that we hire, they have to have a passion for it. And if they don't have a passion for it, they don't last long at all. I mean, at all. And for me, I always say we need to play nice in the sandbox. I mean, that's more important than the auteur and just being a dick.
Yeah.
And we've definitely fired people for that kind of attitude. And I definitely don't hire them. When really early on we were casting for films, if we liked somebody, I would always go into the other room where the assistant was or someone taking the name and said, how were they? If I found out they were being a jerk to them, it's like, they're
not
running
gonna
behind.
work out
I'm
for
not
you.
hiring them.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason. It's like you're on a set for a couple weeks. There's no reason to have a miserable experience.
Right.
And let's point out that it's a couple weeks that you have to finish shooting a feature motion picture, or
Right.
it's a condensed amount of time.
Yeah.
And sometimes that couple of weeks means way before sunup to way after sundown.
There's already pressure.
That's right.
Yeah.
It doesn't need pressure on top of people being dicks to each other.
Right.
Speaking of not saying no to anything, now we can convert to the pitch part of the show.
Uh-oh. Crap. Oh, look, is that the time? Where's my call?
I'm busy.
She was supposed to go 5 minutes from now. Damn it.
No, but that pressure that's already built in, the stress of work, even if you love it, you just don't need to have an asshole around making it even more so.
Well, a bigger asshole than me.
Right.
But,
well,
yeah,
you get to be whatever you want to
Yeah, they're in trouble there.
Yes.
So, but yeah, there's no reason for it, and
Right.
they don't last long.
be. Yeah.
Well, as we walk around the place, we've seen, zombie babies, we've seen sharks, we've seen all kinds of, you have a lot across the street with vehicles in it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of shit around here that looks like so much fun.
And we just got rid of so much stuff. I mean, and threw it away. I mean, it was that's one for this. Sorry, the Smithsonian will not be getting a lot of these props from movies, but we just again going from a building across the street, which is our soundstage, to here, we've got rid of 90% of the stuff there, and some people took and used as just had as a souvenir, but most of the stuff got thrown away.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
We came on the wrong day.
We did.
Yeah, we came on trash day.
I'll tell you who came on the right day. We were hosting a bunch of students from this program called American Pavilion, and every year we host a couple times a year. And there's like 20 kids, and they're all they're all young and they're naive, and they want to know about the film business, and they're usually very bored by us. But that's a whole other story. But it was when we were moving, so we said, look, if anyone wants to come back tomorrow and just grab whatever they want to grab across the street, have fun at it.
Wow.
And a few of them came by and took like
part in the rummage
Sharknado
sale.
sharks and
Yeah.
things that they could probably get like 30 cents on eBay. So
it's all about the emotional value.
yes.
I mean, a Sharknado shark, okay, maybe that doesn't fetch a whole bunch on eBay, but it fetches a whole lot in my imagination.
Sure.
And so if you can stoke a kid's interest in film, stoke a kid's interest in creativity because he's got a foam shark hanging in his room somewhere. That's an awesome way to pass the torch, I say.
It's, I was accosted by Robbie Rist, who was one of our composers for Sharknado at the Sharknado premiere. And I'm not saying he was drunk. I will say, though, he may say that he was. But he's like, look, you have to understand. He goes, I'm just going to say this. I know it's really douchey. But, there's some 9-year-old kid who watched this tonight and said, that's what I want to do when I grow up.
Yes. Yes.
And he says, it's so powerful. It's so meaningful. And I'm like, oh, my God, get another drink. But
once again, the pragmatic filmmaker David Latt, extinguishing someone's vision of 9-year-old's dreams.
That's right. Well, that's what I do. That's what I do. Yeah.
Everyone's got a talent. So what, you're getting rid of the studio across the street, moving everything over here. Is it because you're consolidating? Is it because you've got other?
Well, I'd like to say it's because we've
place?
made really bad decisions and we're going under and we'll be out by the end of the year, which is probably the case. It's probably true. But in this particular case, it's because when we got this building, we were renters. We're not buyers. Again, not the smartest tool in the shed, but it's what we could afford. So the place across the way is being torn down for condos on the first phase, and this building will be torn down by March of next year. So we're actively looking for a new studio space, and we think we found some. But so this will be gone as well. Now that they're building all these restaurants across the street. God damn it.
Yeah.
Wow.
God,
man, double-edged sword. Finally, there's a fucking place to eat around here.
Yeah.
I know.
However,
Now I gotta move out.
Yeah.
And some good places, places that I would actually eat at. It's all good.
And then go find a new place where there's no restauunts because you can afford that place.
I mean, it's true. It's true. Although we think we've found one that checks off a lot of the boxes in Atwater, which is near Dodger Stadium.
Nice.
But,
Oh, so further into the traffic.
yes, further into the traffic.
Boy, no kidding.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a nice building, and we'll see if it works out.
That is a great part of the world, though. I hope, this part of the world, it feels like the restaurant, the suburban experience that's happening a block away is starting to encroach. And I hope that, what you guys find out there in Atwater is allows your, creativity to open back up and gives you some. You're buying the building out there? Hopefully,
No.
Oh.
No, we're still
not smart. Still not smart.
Look, Sharknado 5's got to get funded somehow.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't spill any secrets. We don't know if we're doing Sharknado 5. And, who knows if Z Nation. I mean, the one thing about this company is we have no investors. It's just us.
Privately held.
We're, we reinvest the money into the next project. So
Sure.
it's a cash flow. I mean, we leverage it against contracts and banks and all that stuff. It's a little more sophisticated than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's a cash flow company. And so when we jump into things like Z Nation, which are millions and millions and millions of dollars, and Sharknado series, which are millions and millions and millions of dollars, that is not the model that we created. We're making films at $250,000, $500,000, and to have to figure out how to make a film for millions and millions and millions of dollars, it's tough.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't leave us a lot of money for A, Christmas bonuses, and B, buying a building.
Yeah. Wow. But it is how you build your slate to the point where you're making so many movies.
Yeah, I mean, we have 200 plus movies in our slate.
What a great catalog.
That we own the copyright. We're 100% owners of the copyright. So, we're not sharing with anybody, which is a valuable and powerful place to be. They just need to be more high-profile titles. Then it'll be really valuable. And But
how's Sharknado as a high-profile title?
The highest of what our company has achieved.
Yeah.
Sharknado really, put us on the map. We've been making films for 15 years before then, but you tell people what you do, and our biggest film to date at that time was Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, and the eyes gloss over. With the exception of a couple core fans.
How do the eyes gloss over when Mega Shark takes a chunk out of the Bay Bridge?
Well, look, for me, it's like, I thought we wwe were a question on Jeopardy, and I'm like, we've hit, whatever
You've
pop
arrived,
culture,
yeah.
the zeitgeist of that is like, who knew what Sharknado was going to do?
Yeah.
Because that was just another one of our movies. But Mega Shark, that was going to be on my gravestone.
Yeah.
And when Mega Shark hit, I mean, it's just, I remember going to the visual effects department going, guys, I'm just really sorry. This is the next day. I said, you're going to go through life. You're going to leave the asylum. You're going to get Academy Awards. You're going to win big and riches. But your obituary, your first line is going to say, the visual effects artist of Sharknado has passed today.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, you're not going to be able to escape what just happened.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what that is. So look, Sharknado really gave us the opportunity to do the TV series. I think Sci-Fi was, we were always going back and forth with the TV series,
Yeah.
but Sharknado was such a surprise for them as well as for us. And we have been with them for years and years and years, giving them, some of their top-rated shows, that it was just, it was where it was a 9-month courtship with television series, maybe even more like a year plus of courtship to do TV series. It was an easy phone call from the president of Sci-Fi. Calling goes, we're going to give you a TV series, and we want you to do Z Nation, based on one of your highly successful movies that you made for us called Zombie Apocalypse. So because that was so successful, and they wanted to dip into the zombie space because of Walking Dead. They gave us a 13-episode commitment off a phone call.
Wow.
And I think it's I don't know what their motivation was really because I'm not in the room, but we all looked and said it's a Sharknado. Thank you is what it is, which is wonderful.
Sure. I mean, it was off a 13-episode commitment off a phone call,
and we never made
15 years of hard work.
Yes, and we never had done a series before.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it came with a lot of strings attached. We had to get all the elements together. We had to hire. They gave us a top 3 list of a showrunner, and my response, so naive, was F you. I produced 200 movies. I could showrun this thing, and do this on my own. And they're like, Latt, just calm down.
Take it easy.
Take it. You've never done television before. I'm like, I do television all the time. What are you talking about? I have hundreds of hours of TV. It's like, this is not the same. We're going to, if they, look, it doesn't even matter what you want and how bruised your ego is. They want a showrunner. You're going to get a showrunner. So the top of their name, the list was a guy named Carl Schaefer. And he had done a lot of work for them, Eureka and Erie and Ann, and all these, shows for them that were successful. And it's, if you think I'm a hard worker, there is nothing like a successful showrunner to show how pathetic your life is. It is,
and how woefully underperforming you are.
Yes.
All day long.
Yes.
The thing is, I can see where you would go, come on, fuck you guys. I've done hundreds of hours of content. I can do but really they were doing you a favor.
They were doing such a big favor.
David, you have kids.
Not only for me
you.
in my
See
life,
them,
no, I'm sure it had nothing to do with that. They were doing a favor for the TV series. Because
that's their obligation, of course.
Because Carl came in with such a strong point of view with how we're going to do the Z Nation series that, look, the creator of it is a guy named Craig Engler, and he really put together a great Bible and point of view of the show. But Carl came in and said, okay, this is how we're going to do this. How we're going to make Murphy this character and how we're going to do it. All these little nuanced things that became the character of the show. I wouldn't be able to have done that. So to the series, he is there for the series, and he works on it 24/7. Year long. I mean, we're doing 15 episodes this season, but he's been working on it all year long. And because the budgets are so freaking low, he normally has an entourage of, like 5-10 writers and people it's just him. It's like, and so the pressure of him to get this right and for him to oversee all the edits, all the dailies, all the acting, all the scripts, which he goes in and he does, I'm not going to say page 1 rewrites because the writers are phenomenal, but he, really put so much into everything. It's just like, I look at it and go, I can't do any of that. And,
it really just, it precludes anybody's ability to do anything else for a living, and you got a lot of other things to do.
Yeah, but, we would have made it work, but he makes it, he just, it's so
he
impressive.
made it work to the point where they brought you back. And
absolutely. I mean, the success of of Z Nation is a lot to do with Carl and Craig and the team that was put together, that we put together as well. Everyone is just so dedicated to making this the best show, and I think it shows in every episode. I mean, it's a show that I've said before, I would watch and be a fan if I wasn't producing it.
Yeah.
Because it just hits everything that I love about, a zombie show and an entertainment show. So, and it's great.
And ultimately, isn't that the best thing? I mean, we've complimented the things that you've done for us that we appreciate. But as a career, when you start off a career, regardless of what you think you're going to be, whether you're going to direct or whatever, when it all comes down to it, you are able to create things that if you weren't creating them, you'd be a fan of them. And I think that's a really powerful way to spend your day and your life.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. That I get to play in the space and do what I get to do, and I'm the first one to be impressed with that opportunity. Because, as I've joked around, when this dog and pony show is over, because everything comes to an end, what do I do? No, I'll never be able to do another company like this, and am I going to teach? Because no one's going to hire me.
No one's going to hire you, yeah.
Because I don't make the films that the studios make.
That's right.
I may have a great track record of making entertainment film and profitable movies, but they don't want that. Right. They want someone who can wrestle a $200 million budget and, do that. I had a friend that worked at Lionsgate that went from the $1 million shows to the $60 million and then on up. He's big time now.
Holy shit.
And I said, what's the difference between the $1 million and the $60 million? He goes, it's really simple. The $1 million, you are watching every dime. You are counting the paper clips. Right. You are making sure that you are on budget. When you line produce a $60 million movie on up, they encourage you to spend an extra $1 million to get that better shot. Right. Because they've invested so much money into how this is going to perform. It's like, it's only going to cost $3 more million to to get the better location, to get the better actor. Well, do it. Spend 3 more days. Make it happen, because if we lose that money, we're screwed.
Right.
So, that's a really interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's really just it. Kind of ups the stakes, but it also really takes. I'm not sure that that's empowering as much as it just adds pressure.
There's always for us, our pressure is, as the head of production, I want to make sure that what we produce sells, which means that I'm constantly talking to my partners, who's always talking to the buyers. What do you need? What do you want? Right. I mean, we're a studio for hire in a lot of ways. So in that sense, we are leashed to that. And so when you think, our creativity comes when they say, well, we want sharks in a tornado. Go have fun. So we'll go out and we'll try and make the best Sharks and Tornado, movie that we can, and be entertained and put in the elements we want to find entertaining. But ultimately, we're beholden to a network, a studio that's a buyer, distributor that has certain things they need to do, and that's we have to just find the creativity within those constraints, the constraints of a tight budget, the constraints of a tight schedule. Sometimes unions. Because we've gone the union road before. Z Nation's fully union, up and down. Sharknado last show was fully union. I mean, and you have a lot of constraints on that, good or for bad.
Well, speaking of tight schedules, we know that you have a heart out, and we're huge fans. We've had such a good time.
Yeah.
I just want to close by. I'll close by asking you if there's anything you want to do or plug or anything like that when we close, but I just want to close by saying, man, I hope you guys have 19 more years or however many years you have in you.
19 and a half.
19 and a half.
And really, after that, I hope you find somebody to pass the torch to, because you fill a need that doesn't take itself so seriously. You fill a need that gives us movies that we laugh our asses off at. And there's something to say for the evolution of great art, but there's also something to say for the evolution of consumable art that that we can get our arms around and really like. And that's what you've done for us. That's what you've created. So, right on.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Aw, I'm blushing.
I don't think anybody believes that, but as much as you could probably blush. Cool. Would you mind if we took a picture of you and a shark? That's really what I want to.
With clothes on. I mean, I don't understand why you want to be naked through this interview, but it's okay.
We want the real you.
Okay.
In the raw.
What's not to understand?
Okay. You guys up in San Francisco do it strange, but okay, it's all good. Sure, picture You could do it. Do I have to do that? Yeah. Okay.
We'll take a picture of your leg
Yeah.
next to a shirt.
Awesome.
Seriously, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
very
guys. I had a lot of fun.
Back to you. Oh, so we don't have to put our shirts back on. Terrific.